Hi folks and welcome. Today we've got another set of shoes. This time these are Pradas and they're a pair of driving shoes, loafers, sometimes called driving loafers, and they've been sitting for a while by the feel of it. They are a little bit hard, got some flexibility, but you can see it starting to crack as you do. Also got quite a lot of worn bits here. As you can see, it's really dulled right there. The soles, they look pretty good, not too much wear. And the inside looks okay as well. So we're going to give these the usual clean up, deep hygienic clean. See if we can reshape them a bit, get some nutrients back into it and darken it back down as well. Get these looking a million times better. They're quite dusty in here, so just going to get the horsehair brush, give them a good going over. This just takes off a layer of sort of any dust, anything that's stuck to it just now. Next step, as usual, I'm going to use my Worth interior cleaner. Start on the inside. Just ensures I get right to the tip of the toe. What this will do, this will just expand into any little nooks and crannies. It will just get into it. I'll scrub it. I'll do another spray, which then pulls all the stuff back out. Just start off with a toothbrush, just to get into the tip of the toe. Just working in a pattern here. Just start from the front, and I'll just work my way back. I make sure I just get all of the inside of the shoe, and not just some of it. Next thing I do is I'll just work along here, at the top. This is just scrubbing into the corner of the shoe. It's good for dislodging any sort of fluff or anything like that that gathers in between. Because it is one of these places where it really accumulates sometimes. Next I'm going to work on the actual side of the shoe. More circular sort of motions here, and back to front. Then just moving on to this part and the top. That'll make it easier. Just give it a quick wipe out. Spray this back into it. What that'll do is that'll just pull all the little bits back out. As you can see here, it really does pull it all out. Some fresh stuff. Now to quickly do the outside, I think I'll start at the sole. In fact, there's a just there. I wonder if that's dyed. See if it comes off with this. Still quite prominent. What I'm going to do is I'm just really going to carefully use some acetone. Just got to get a little bit in the tissue. Just taking it straight off. This one seems to have some glue on the bottom of it. Again, I've got the acetone. Acetone is very handy for things like this. Seems to be some sort of quite strong glue or adhesive stuck to this. For this very reason you have to be careful with shoes, because if you have any shoes with glued parts, then the acetone will just dissolve it. It will also strip pigment out of leather as well. I don't like to leave that with just acetone on it. Right, so we'll clean the rest of this one. I think actually a little bit of rigidity will help. So I'm going to use some shoe trees. A lot easier when the shoe trees are in, just to get some purchase against this. For the top side. Just going to be gentle with this as well. Don't want to be too abrasive for the leather. In fact, this feels really quite dry because this just seeped right into this in no time at all. And what a difference that makes just after this nice quick clean. From putting the Worth cleaner on, it's obvious that this leather is really malnourished. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply some Saphir Renovateur. I've used this quite a lot of times, it's really good stuff. Another thing I want to do is just want to give it some more shape, but I can't really do that with the shoe tree being so loose like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pack it a little bit. This will push the shoe tree down. So I'm going to start by packing it with just a little square of cloth. I think that's made up quite a lot of the room. This has got leather at the top and the bottom. So what we're going to do is we're going to moisturise all of it. And again, I'm just working in a pattern, doing a section at a time. As it dries, I find parts that are just a bit thicker with the renovateur. So just rub it in, it evens it out. Just giving this another light coat, just to give it some extra moisture. Just going to let this dry in. I've given the sole a quick scrub with the Worth Interior Cleaner as well. It also feels a bit dry. So again, I'm just going to use the renovateur. It's a leather sole. Just want to look after this as well. You can see it's actually dried in before I've even got to the end of this. This shows you, I think this was really quite in need of some moisture and rejuvenation as well. I'm going to leave this to dry along with the shoe. Now I've left them to dry, I'm just going to give them a quick going over with the horsehair brush. Having a look at the difference the Saphir Renovateur makes alone, it's just incredible. That's without any dye or colouring or anything like that. Talking about dye and colouring, next thing we're going to use is another Saphir product. This is a black leather cream. This is another leather cream, and this has, well, a black pigment in it as well, which will help darken it and get the black back into it. It's also a rejuvenator as well and help just condition the leather. You can see here this is the leading edge of the shoe, so we'll get some more wear and abrasion. It is a little bit worn, so we'll apply some of this to here and see what difference it makes. I'll need to do some more research into these shoes, but I believe these were about sort of $500 plus when they came out. I'm not too sure when they came out, but I believe it was sort of pre-2015. Just apply some more to the toe here. Just get another layer on there. Layer it on. I'm just going to leave these for a little while, just let that settle in, let that nourish right into it. Then I'll go over it again with a horsehair brush. Now for going over with a horsehair brush, these are coming up quite nicely. That toe's looking quite nice as well now. see a really big difference in the two of these. What a huge difference. I'm actually going to be repairing this slit here. It's just a small slit at the front of the shoe, and what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using some upholstery glue. This glue is really quite strong. I've seen upholsterers using it on a lot of leather couches and stuff like that, on seats, and it has to withstand a lot of pressure, obviously with people sitting on it, and it lives up to the job, so I think it'll be pretty good for this part here on the shoe. Before tackling that, I'm just going to, off camera, give it a quick clean up, just like I done the first one. Now it's been given a good sort of clean. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to glue this now. This glue actually dries clear, so that's another advantage with this one as well. So what I'm going to do, squeeze it here like this. What I'll actually do is set this other shoe tree in. Okay, so I've done a lot of fettling off camera there. What I've done is just got this peg clipped over here. That's just pulling this in. So I'll leave this to dry with these two edges connected. They should hopefully dry quite well. This also will be quite supple, so it's not one to kind of crack and spread, which should help retain its repair. I'll give it a test out, and if not, what I'll do is I'll put some small stitches in here, but I just wanted to do this just so it hides it a bit more. So the glue's dried in very nicely. It's also very tough. I've given it a good pull, tried to stretch it quite a few times, put the shoe tree in, moved it about quite a lot, and it's holding quite well. This glue is quite supple, so that will really help it as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover it up with the dye and the sapphire. I'm quite happy this will hold. So I'm just going to use some Famaco dye for the front of it. This will just be a quick touch-up job. I'm just going to quickly wipe off the excess here as well. This is a type of sort of dye paint, and if you leave it to dry while it's still quite textured, it will dry in that texture. It doesn't like self-level or anything like that. So just be aware when you're doing things like that, that the dye or anything you're using does self-level. Now for the Sapphire Médaille d'Or. I've used this a few times now. It's a shea butter based leather cream and dye. So this conditions as well as adds pigment into it as well. Also, you've got two options with this. You can either use it as a dye polish, or also on top of that you can use the Sapphire wax polish, and that will give you a much sort of glossier shine. Also helps with waterproofing and stuff like that. For this, I'm just going to leave it with this Sapphire on. So whoever wants to buy these, they can choose if they want to put the wax polish on and make it shinier. It's easier to make it shinier than it is to put it back to sort of this. I'm very happy with the difference in these. It just feels so much more supple. They've got a much better shape. I mean, before they were so dry that if you moved it, it felt like it was just going to crack. You can feel it's really been nourished. Also, just the look of it, look a lot better. Even the soles. That little repair that I've done, think it's turned out quite well actually. Also been at the underside as well. It's not really too noticeable. These will be a fantastic pair of shoes for someone. And life has just been extended quite a lot in these. Really happy.